The flight attendant barely looked at them before barking, "These seats aren't for you." When the demand started, two well-dressed black teens, Amira and Jordan, had just settled into their first-class seats. The whispers, the glares, and then the ultimate insult: "Move to the back." But the flight crew didn't know that the father of these kids wasn't just wealthy. He owned the airline. One quiet phone call would change the entire course of the flight and the crew's future. By the time the wheels touched down, careers were shattered, and justice had been served at 30,000 feet. Amira, 16, and her older brother Jordan, 18, were used to subtle discrimination. They'd grown up with their father, Charles Hamilton, a self-made tech mogul and CEO of a global airline empire. But their father had always taught them to be graceful in the face of ignorance and influential in their responses. It was supposed to be a simple flight, just two siblings heading home for a charity gala. They arrived early, dressed sharply, and sat in the VIP cabin, seats marked with their names. But it didn't matter to the head flight attendant, Linda. She stared at them, like they didn't belong, then accused them of sneaking into first class. "You two need to get to coach before I call security," she said loud enough for nearby passengers to hear. Embarrassed but calm, Jordan quietly pulled out his phone and sent one text. "Dad, it's happening again." 10 minutes later, the plane was suddenly delayed due to technical difficulties. But what was happening was far more dramatic. Wait a second, and tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Linda marched up and down the aisle, smirking. The other attendants snickered. One even muttered, "Entitled kids." But Amira and Jordan sat silently, refusing to argue. That's when the pilot came out. He approached them with an annoyed look. "Look, I don't want trouble. Just move to economy so we can depart." Jordan replied calmly, "You're about to have much more trouble if you don't stop this." The flight crew laughed, and a few passengers chuckled too. They had no idea who these kids were. Meanwhile, 3,000 miles away, Charles Hamilton stepped out of a board meeting and saw his son's message. He didn't call the airline manager or customer service. He called the director of in-flight operations directly. Within minutes, the airport was contacted. The tower grounded the plane. The pilot was summoned off the aircraft, a stern-faced supervisor, boarded and called the entire crew to the front of the plane. Every passenger now watched as murmurs spread. Phones came out. Cameras rolled. Linda's face went pale as a corporate security officer handed her a sealed envelope containing her immediate termination letter. Then it was handed to 3 more crew members. The CEO appeared on the tarmac in his private jet, pulling up alongside the plane. As Charles boarded the commercial aircraft, gasps echoed. Linda, now shaking, tried to apologize. "You thought my children didn't deserve to be here," he said, addressing the entire cabin. "You treated them like criminals. You humiliated them, publicly." He turned to the passengers. "Let this be a reminder. Respect has nothing to do with race, age, or assumptions. It's about humanity." He looked at Amira and Jordan. "You did the right thing by staying calm." Turning to the captain, he said coldly, "You're grounded." That day, 5 employees lost their jobs. Company-wide, a new policy was announced: zero tolerance for discrimination. And that flight? It still took off, but with a different crew. By the following day, a video of the incident had gone viral. Social media praised the siblings' grace under pressure and the father's swift justice. News outlets reported the story with headlines like "Airline CEO Shuts Down Discrimination Mid-Flight" and teen siblings show poise while crew implodes. Charles used the moment to launch a new scholarship for minority youth interested in aviation. Amira and Jordan didn't just arrive at the gala. They came as heroes. And Linda? She learned too late that the people you look down on may just be sitting far above you. Because sometimes, justice doesn't wait. It boards the plane with you. If you enjoyed this story and thought it provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Take care.